Alrighty folks, welcome back to the channel. In this episode we're wrapping up an incredible 3-day adventure through south central Pennsylvania during peak fall foliage. If you've been keeping up, you know we've already taken on two of the state's most iconic long distance trails, the Standing Stone and the legendary Appalachian Trail. But we're not done yet. Today we're capping things off with a loop I've dubbed the Tusc-Stone Loop, a nearly 10-mile route with close to 3,000 feet of elevation gain that links up two powerhouse trails, the Tuscarora and the Standing Stone. It's a full-day effort with mountain climbs, valley strolls, and non-stop autumn color. We kick things off with a climb up Tuscarora Mountain in the morning sun, heading up to the ridge and hiking along a remote stretch of the Tuscarora Trail itself. Up top, we'll navigate mossy boulder fields and narrow, overgrown laurel tunnels before beginning a steep descent, nearly 1,000 feet down, into Cowans Valley down below. Down in the lowlands, we hike alongside the scenic Ogwood Creek, soaking in the peaceful vibes before the next big push, the climb up Cove Mountain. This final ascent takes us up to another ridgeline, this time along the Standing Stone Trail, where we are rewarded with sweeping views overlooking Cowans Gap State Park from high above. And from there, we begin our final descent back down to Cowans Gap Lake, along one of the steepest sections of trail I've ever hiked, none other than the Horseshoe Trail, wrapping up one of the most epic and well-rounded hikes I've done in the region, all during absolute peak fall foliage. So, if you're into long climbs, wild terrain, and peak fall color, you're in for a treat. And, as always, enough talking, let's get to hiking. Well, funny enough, I've been camping here at Cowans Gap for the last 3 days, and I have not ventured yet down to the lake, and I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt for it. Check out these colors. Peak fall foliage here in south central Pennsylvania. But before we hit the trail, I figured I would pull out the map and kind of give you a gist of what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to leave this a little open-ended. I don't really have anything set in stone per se, but we're going to catch the Tuscarora Trail. As you can see, head up some switchbacks, hike along this mountain ridge, and then I was planning on going along this Geyer Trail here, and then continuing on to the Plessinger Trail, dropping down in elevation. We'll see how we feel here. If we think we got a couple more miles in us, we're going to continue back up along the Standing Stone Trail and hike along this ridge line before coming down the Horseshoe Trail and making a big loop out of it. I'm thinking we're going to be probably well over 10 miles today, but look at these views. In just a few short hours, if all goes well, we will be on top of this ridgeline looking down upon Cowans Gap Lake. But yeah, just a little update. Like I said, nothing's really set in stone, so we'll see what happens. We got all day, and yeah, enough talking. Let's get to hiking. Wow guys, how lucky are we? It looks like it's going to turn out to be another beautiful day, another bluebird day, very little cloud cover as the sun starts to rise above the hills and mountains here in south central Pennsylvania. There's nothing better than getting up early and seeing that sun shine on all these golden leaves. You can see some of the surrounding mountainsides. We'll be getting better views of those the higher we get. But this is probably the second 4 or 5 switchbacks that we're going to be heading up. Eventually we'll be walking along the ridge line of Tuscarora Mountain here. But just heading on through some mountain laurel thickets, a lot of leaf cover on the ground, but a pretty healthy, diverse looking forest here as we continue our ascent uphill. I don't know if you've seen the sign back there, but it said that the Geyer Trail was 1.6, so not as far as I thought it was going to be. Like I said, everything's kind of up in the air still. Just winging it today, just enjoying it. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. What more could you ask for? So let's get it. Well, if you can see all the trees and vegetation, there's a little body of water below us right now. That's actually Cowans Gap Lake, just to give you an idea of how far we've hiked up this hillside here. But yeah, in a few hours, we will be traversing that hillside just across from us there, just to give you some scale on what exactly we're going to be trying to accomplish today. So yeah, big day, big miles. So let's get it. All right, no more switchbacks. It is straight up from here for about a half of a mile. And when I say straight up, it is straight up and down. So next stop will be at the top of Tuscarora Mountain. No pain, no gain. All right, well, if you haven't already noticed, our big elevation gain of the day has concluded, and we are hiking along the ridge top of Tuscarora Mountain. And if maybe you've ever heard of anybody refer to Pennsylvania as Rocksylvania, the folks that hike the AT, well, this is exactly why. Just behind me here, looking east, that ridge line off in the distance is actually where the Appalachian Trail meanders on through that ridge line. Me and Cliff were just somewhere over there a few days ago hiking up to Chimney Rock, and then behind me, you can't really see it right now, I'm sure we'll get some other views of it, there's another ridge line just behind me here looking west, and that would be the Standing Stone Trail. So trails cutting all throughout this area. I think there's going to be a big boulder field not too far away from where we are, but tons of cool little rock outcroppings, caves, crevices, you name it. And as you can see, the foliage up upon this ridgeline isn't the best, and that is due to the constant high wind that just blows on over these ridge tops. And unfortunately, a lot of these trees lose their leaves, but looking down into the valleys and hollers and whatnot around here, the leaves are in tip-top peak fall foliage color. So let's keep heading on down the trail, and we'll see if we can find that boulder field. Alrighty folks, well as promised, we have made it to this epic boulder field looking out east towards the Appalachian Trail. Can't really ask for better weather or a better morning as we watch the sunrise above the hills here in south central Pennsylvania, surrounded by pitch pine, even a couple beech trees, peak fall foliage. I mean, really, what more could you ask for? As I said earlier, the Appalachian Trail runs along that ridge line off in the distance. The Standing Stone Trail runs just behind me there. And you might be wondering why there are three long distance trails all kind of within the same area. And that brings up a good point. The Tuscarora Trail was initially made to kind of help out the Appalachian Trail. It's kind of the sister trail. So a lot of times the AT will run into property issues or rerouting issues, and the main role the Tuscarora Trail played, at least when it was established, was so that they could easily reroute the AT. They never wanted to have to close the trail in its entirety or have to force hikers to road hike. So I think it happened in a few instances where the AT was actually rerouted through the Tuscarora Trail. But that is the main idea behind this trail, which I thought was pretty interesting. And if you remember seeing the sign at the beginning of the trail, the Tuscarora links up with the AT, and I think it was 159 or 169 miles. But a little information for you. But pretty cool to say that we've hiked the AT, the Standing Stone Trail, and the Tuscarora in 3 days here. South central Pennsylvania is easily becoming one of my favorite areas in the whole Commonwealth. But yeah, we got a big day ahead of us. Can't sit here too long. We're gonna get up and start our descent on down the Gyre Trail, I believe it is. So. All right, well, as you can see, we have made it here to the Gyre Trail. We're going to be making a hard right and heading downhill, starting to descend and eventually linking up with the Plessinger Trail. We can continue straight here. The Tuscarora Trail continues on as it heads further into Pennsylvania before ultimately meeting up with the Appalachian Trail. Nice little meadow here on top of this mountain ridge. But yeah, kind of have a little bit of a time constraint today, so we are probably just gonna try to make it downhill as quickly as possible. But yeah, how cool is this little area here? But yeah, let's continue on down the Gyre Trail. What do you say? Well, what goes up must come down. Pretty steep, overgrown section here along the Gyre Trail, as you can see, heading through Mount Laurel. Some little pine. Can't imagine coming through here in the summer months. It's probably a bushwhack. It's nearly a bushwhack now here in late October. Well, if I don't have a tick on me, that'd be a miracle. Well, as you can see, we have ascended down into the valley. We've conquered one mountain. You can see Tuscarora behind me, saying goodbye to the Gyre Trail. We are now looking for the Plessinger Trail, where we will follow along the Little Ogwick Creek for nearly a mile. But we'll be climbing that beast here within the hour. As I said earlier, the Standing Stone Trail traverses that ridgeline. So looks like the Plessinger Trail is just up ahead of us. But yeah, what more could you ask for? Overlooks, vistas. We're going to see some water features as well. Peak fall foliage, new state park. Couldn't ask for more. So let's tackle the Plessinger Trail now. What do you say? Well, the Plessinger Trail has been a nice little change of pace, following along the Little Ogwick Creek. A little bit different than following along some of these mountain ridge tops, but very family friendly, easy trail. I could probably spend all day down here just filming all these little cascades as the leaves float on down to Cowans Gap Lake. So we are going to be wrapping up this section of trail here momentarily, and we will be joining yet another trail that is eluding my mind right now, but that will take us along the ridgetop to the Standing Stone Trail. So yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the Plessinger Trail here. Nice little treat. Like I said, nice change of pace. So next time you see me, we'll be beginning to climb that beast off in the distance. Wish me luck. Yeah, just look at these colors, guys. This is just mind-blowingly awesome. And this trail slash road is definitely a little easier than our last trail that headed up Tuscarora. There's this north logging road that cuts off to the right. We're going to be passing that by and linking up, like I said a million times already, with the Standing Stone Trail. But yeah, Pennsylvania, fall foliage, doesn't get any better. Yeah, I had no clue that this old guy was along the trail. CCC incinerator. The CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps, played a big role in this park, building the dam, the infrastructure, cabins, pavilions, you name it. But check this old guy out. This is where those CCC boys would have taken all their garbage and burned it up along the hillside here. Looks like a mini castle. Be interesting to take a metal detector out here and see what you could find. But wow, cool piece of history. Always fun to stumble upon things like this, especially when you don't know they're here. So yeah, a CCC incinerator. Say that 5 times fast. Cool. Yeah, but anyway, we're gonna keep our climb going up the hill and link up with the Standing Stone Trail. Just wanted to show you this cool old relic from the past here. Well, it's pretty crazy to say that we started this morning all the way down in this deep valley. We hiked up this ridge line all the way across for me, probably a good mile or two. Hiked along that ridge line, came back down, and here we are on top of another mountain. My mileage right now says we are about 5 miles into the hike. And I was also thinking the Cowans Loop is cool and all, but I think we can give this loop a better name. So I'm going to dub this the Tusc-Stone Loop, simply because we started at the Tuscarora Trail on Tuscarora Mountain, and now we're here along the Standing Stone Trail. So yeah, this is none other than the Tusc-Stone Trail. If you're curious about doing this, I think it's going to be about 7 miles by the end of the day. We're going to continue to climb until we fizzle out and hike along the ridge line, and then we're going to drop down right by Cowans Gap Dam. So a little information for you. Wow. Well, this is quite the view, huh? You can actually see my truck off in the distance. This is known as Cowans Gap Overlook, looking down towards Cowans Gap Lake. Let's take a walk out here. 1977. Like I was talking about earlier, to put things into scale, we started down here, hiked up that mountain, came back down, and now look at us. A lot of elevation gain, that's for sure. If you aren't a fan of elevation, even descending, that gyro trail that we did earlier was no joke. So we'll see how the descent is going back down towards the lake. But yeah, I would say this was worth it. Peak fall foliage, Pennsylvania perfect. What more could you ask for? Let's continue our climb. Pretty much 360-degree views up here along the ridge top here, looking out east, looking back west. Pretty rocky. This definitely reminds me of the last time I hiked the Standing Stone Trail up at Greenwood Furnace State Park. But yeah, you are literally traversing the top of this ridge line here, which gives some really impressive views. You can see the lake down below us once again, but there should be a little side trail coming up here rather shortly, and we will be making our big descent on back down to Cowans Gap Lake. Look at this view, gorgeous. Alrighty, and just like that, we have reached our final trail junction for the day, the Horseshoe Trail. As you can see, we are going to be heading straight on down towards beautiful Cowans Gap Lake and hiking across the dam before heading on home. So yeah, thank you for joining me. I figured we would wrap things up here from the top of the Standing Stone Trail in order not to make this video 3 hours long. But as you can see, views all around me still, fall foliage in its peak form. It was just an incredible day, an incredible weekend. We tackled them all. We did the AT, the Standing Stone twice, and the Tuscarora. So mission accomplished. I can't wait to share these videos with all you guys out there. Leave me a comment. Tell me where I should head next. We are slowly but surely checking off all the incredible hikes and incredible state parks throughout the Commonwealth. But yeah, thank you once again for all you folks that tune in each and every week. So yeah, I'm going to start my descent on down, and next week I will be joining up with another YouTuber, a little collaboration video as we head on down more south. We'll be in West Virginia next week, hiking through one of the most remote sections east of the Mississippi. So that should be interesting. So stay tuned for that. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. But yeah, next week I will be seeing you from West Virginia. So that should be a good one. Stay tuned. I'll see you next week.